Looking for a snack that's better for you and irresistibly tasty? Grab a bag of Skinny Pop Popcorn. The original ready-to-eat popcorn is made with just 3 simple ingredients, and it still delivers all the light, airy, and satisfyingly salty flavors you love. Share a bag of Skinny Pop with your favorite people, or just keep it to yourself for some endlessly enjoyable solo snacking that lasts and lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop. Popular for a reason.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
Oh, we can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome to the Backpacking and Blisters podcast, brought to you by the best ultralight quilt makers in the universe in light and equipment. With me today is a man who says he's from Minnesota, Ben McAuliffe. How's it going, my friend?
It's going good. How are you?
Good. You're not even going to question my intro there. Like, I just said you
Why would
said
I question?
you're
I'm from Minnesota. Do you want... I can do an
you
accent.
sound Minnesota
to prove
accent, and so that's why...
Oh.
I
Hey,
don't really know
how
that's
are
true.
you? You guys are doing good. It's good to be back, you know. Oof, duh. It's been
Okay.
a week.
I believe you
better?
now. So we've got the best shelter for you. So we brought Shug on to talk hammocks, and then Ben and I are going to break down some tent talk.
Yes.
Ben, how many tents do you own?
So I own 3 or 4 tents.
Okay, not too bad. That's
Yeah.
fair. I don't know if that makes you an expert, but we'll try.
How many do you own?
So I'm constantly like buying and selling gear. So yeah, in any given year, I probably have anywhere from 5 to 10 though.
But how many do you like just have for your personal use?
I mean, I'm typically, like I've got the one for car camping. I've got the one for ultralight backpacking. I've got the
Right.
group backpacking one. So personally, it's probably have 4 or 5.
That's about what I got for that.
Okay, so this episode is like probably going to anger some people because we haven't used all of them out there. We'll probably get somebody who maybe even is from a cottage company that's made 5 total. They're still like in the prototype phase, and they're like, I can't believe you didn't mention this one for such and such category. But we're doing our best, and this is part of the conversation. If you disagree, please let us know, and we'll follow up on a future episode after we do our research. But I feel like I'm pretty well researched on this, but I'm not going to be perfect. So do you agree with that statement?
Oh, always agree that you're not perfect.
Thank you. So we've got that, and then at the end in our tidbit section, we had a recent guest on, Michael Hawk, and after we had him on, Ben just like laid into me on one of the questions I asked him. He's like, I can't believe you asked about such and such. I don't want to say what it is yet. And you're about to eat your words, my friend.
Yeah, I think I actually asked it on air too. I was like, well,
You might have.
Yeah.
We'll revisit it. So we got that, and Bible verse the episode. Ben, what you got?
I got Jeremiah 35:7. Also, you must never build houses, sow seed, or plant vineyards. You must never have any of these things, but always live in tents. Then you will live a long time in the land where you are nomads. So I think that goes with me and you. We believe in tents. So do you think it's un-Christian-like to live in a hammock?
You're like, how can I offend more people with the verse that I chose? Success. Yeah, I don't know, because like you could make the case that a hammock is just a form of a tent off the ground. So it really depends on how you define it. But yeah, the whole like nomadic existence, and yeah, there's a lot to that for sure. So I like a tent. You like a tent. We can be talked into trying a hammock. But full disclosure, so we had on a hammock guy. I think it was our first season of the podcast. And the guy's trying to convince us to use a hammock. He's like, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna send you a hammock, and you try it out. You tell me if you like this thing. So he sends us his hammock. We bring it to Yosemite. Derek and I try our best to set up, but
there's no trees.
Yeah, that's right. In Yosemite, there's a few trees in Yosemite. We try setting it up, and we promise you, it was missing multiple parts and pieces. And obviously, like, you're supposed to...
So you didn't try it ahead of time?
I know. Well, no, we should... No, that's what you're supposed to do. This is forever ago, man. This is so long ago. This is season 1. We don't know any better. And so, yeah, and we're not hammock people, so it's not like we're excited to try it the first time. So we're kind of scarred since then. But maybe Shug will change our mind. Maybe Shug will change your mind. And if you're already a hammock person, hopefully he's got some info about the best shelter for you. So here we go. Shug, Sean, Emery, coming up right. With us today is the best hammock backpacker in the world. Woo, buddy. Shug, how's it going, my friend?
Woo, buddy. I love when you start off with an untrue compliment like that. I don't know if I'm the best backpacker because I have a lot of people that call me out going, you haven't really ever through hiked like a really long trail. And I'm going, well, I mean, I've done the foothills and a few, and the border route trail up here is 75 miles, but I'm going, I just don't want to walk the AT at this point in my life. I like seeing my wife. I don't know that I like the woods that much. After a couple of weeks, I'm kind of going, I got other things I like doing. I want to be home and watch Formula One on TV, play my music, see my wife, do some chores. And I'm one of those guys, whenever I go do anything, I just know I'm falling behind on chores. It's a character. It's a character defect.
Yeah.
But I don't see myself being an 80-year-old man going, I'm going to go walk the AT with a bunch of dirty, skanky young teenagers and college kids trying to escape life.
So you got the young, you got the old. That's who walks the AT or the long trails for sure. But you're still the best. Hey, don't discredit this episode or you as a guest. You're the best in our eyes.
It's hard for me, and I want to come back to this, but I am trying to learn to accept compliments with grace and dignity. So I apologize. Yes, I am maybe the best.
So being one of the best hammock guys, in Swiss Family Robinson, they made hammocks out of cargo nets. Why would anyone want to do hammocks differently?
If you like rope burns and tattoos on your back like that, pressed into your skin like you're in some weird fraternity, yes, then Swiss Robinson family style is the way to go. But eventually an old guy just is seeking comfort and 10 hours of sleep in the woods.
10 hours.
I do. I get 10 to 12 hours. Definitely most time, eight at a minimum. And I don't get that at home. So I'm willing to walk and take a backpacking trip to get that sleep and to sit up in the morning and have my breakfast from the hammock and sipping my instant espresso, my Medaglia d'Oro while sitting in the hammock. That is it for me. That's the reason I do it.
You got me convinced. If I can switch to hammocks
Seriously.
and get 8 hours of sleep, I'm done. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah, at 10, you'll probably get 10 because you don't want to wake up. And then when you do, you're just leaning back, watching the woods. You wake up and see the woods and sipping coffee and just going, man, this is why not that I hated Boy Scouts. I like Boy Scouts. I was a Boy Scout a long time, but I was going, there's got to be a better way.
I think for me, it's not wanting to wake up. It's more, I don't want to have to try to get out of a hammock. That's probably my biggest fear.
No, you don't want it. That's why you go get your food and get back in it and sit there comfortably till the morning constitutional hits, and then it's pack up time. Yeah.
That's why I can't stay for 10 hours straight. All right. Ben's already alluding to the fact that we are not obviously the experienced hammockers. So and I think there's some folks out there who also are in our boat. So for people going 0 to full hammock setup, what are 3 things they need to consider? What are your top 3?
They're going to worry about the weight of it, and that is one of these things. I could talk about this because it depends on what state you live in, what kind of climates you live in, what the season is. The summer, you don't have to carry as much stuff in general. You can go lighter and you can probably match your tent. But then I ask you, what is your tent? Are you a tarp and bivy guy? Are you using like some old timberline that you set up? I mean, there's a lot of parameters to that. So it's like, I even did a video on it somewhere 4 years ago. You can get really close in your weight. But to me, the comfort and the 8-10 hours of sleep sort of trumps the 4 hours of sleep on the pad, maybe 5. Okay, so I would say that is usually what they worry about. I go, don't worry about that. Don't let that hold you back. Begin.
All right.
Get a hammock. And by that, I always tell people, you don't have to invest a lot. And this comes down to one of your other questions there. Like, go on Amazon and get like the Wise Owl hammock. You get a hammock with straps and everything for $30.
Okay.
It's probably 9.5 feet. It's not a bad. I've ordered a few to do a video one time that I have called "Get a Cheap Hammock," and I gave them away to some scouts who don't know any better. It was not a horrible hammock. It's a hammock. You hang it right. You go, this is not bad. So, you can spend $30 and find out if you like it. But the most important thing that I have learned as the best hammocker in the world is you got to have patience with a hammock. You've got to have patience with it step by step. Let's say you guys are mainly tenters. You go buy a new tent, even a top of the line, like some Hilberg or whatever. You set it up. It sets up like a regular tent. Maybe there's a little pole work on the vestibule or something, but after you've set it up once or twice, you got it.
Right.
The hammock's not like that. You have the hammock. You're kind of wearing it like a little suit when you're in it. You're enveloped. You're in that hammock. You're not laying on it. You're in it. And then there's the tarp, and then there's insulation, and then it's your suspension. There's a lot of bits and pieces. So you have to find out if you're the kind of person that wants to go through that. So the patience comes in, but I'll add this in as a bonus thing, and I've been saying this a lot lately. Just really enjoy trying something new. At a certain age, the only way to be new at something is to take up something new and be absolutely new. You're starting from square one, like you said, from zero. And maybe that will frustrate you in a couple of weeks, and maybe you'll enjoy the journey and end up hammocking. And maybe 3 weeks in, you go, I hate this. I've never strung up a tarp. And I've told many people it shouldn't stress you out and give you hives. Go back to your tent.
Right.
Is the camping, because honestly, I don't want everybody to be in a hammock because then I'm not special.
Then everybody's an expert.
The truth comes out.
That's my answer. Look, those are basically the three things, I think.
What about side sleepers? Because I feel like in a hammock, you have to sleep like on your back. Is that true?
I've done a video on side sleeping. I'm not a side sleeper, but I got several of my hammocks out in a row and slept on my side, fetal, how I thought everybody would side sleep, going, I don't know what to do with my arms. But yeah, you can get in there and get your knee up. The bridge style hammocks, which are the ones with the spreader bars, everybody says, not everybody, but a lot of people say, that's the best hammock for side sleeping. I don't know, because your knee, depending on the side sleeper you are. But so I was kind of bringing my knees up, like not quite in the fetal position, but kind of bringing it on my side. And my knee would hit the edge of that hammock. If we're looking at the bridge hammock from the side, it's got like a cat cut in it with like mule tape there. So it's really kind of cuts into your knee. You got to like pull some quilt up or stuff something under your knee. I think the gathered in hammock is totally doable in the side sleep. And it's like, don't go in it fighting it. Like so many people I tell with hammocks, there's a guy right now on hammock forums, and he's brand new because it's the new year. So we get all these new people, and he's so concerned with ticks crawling into his hammock and wild animals. I'm like going, you're going to hike with worry. You're worried about things that haven't happened to you yet. And I've been guilty of that in my life. It's like,
I think we all have. Yeah.
You think might happen. Just, it's just camping. It's just backpacking. It's not rocket science. No one's making us go. It's not the Bataan Death March. We choose to go with our toys. It's not people. I don't get it. Like people.
Well said.
I walked out. I yo-yoed the Appalachian Trail. Well, good for you. I bet you're broke.
You're okay. You're good at this. I feel like I'm good at this too. It's scolding people that are complaining about things they're choosing to do, right? So if they're like, I'm worried about ticks, I'm worried about wild animals crawling into the hammock for whatever, just be like, fine, just stay at home, sit on the couch.
Just stay at home. I know. It's like they live out there, and it's like, here's what I say. I tell people this about wild animals. I go, say you're backpacking, right? You're on the trail, whether you're with friends or, say you're taking point or you're doing a solo. It's like driving a pontoon boat. You're the captain and you're turning around. You look like you're doing nothing, but you're vigilant, but you're not nervous vigilant. You're lightly vigilant all day. You're checking out this boat coming. There's a sailboat. Here comes a jet skier. You're just constantly scanning. You're looking for animal sign. Is it fresh? Is it bear? Is it wolf? Is it wombat? Whatever it is. They're gonna walk our trails, but it's like,
Oh yeah.
I can't tell by poop if it's going my way or coming the other way. It's just like
You can't tell directional poop.
not that good.
Usually it's in an arrow, right? Like
That's the thing, as someone who's backpacked a long time, and I had to learn in other areas of my life, is don't worry about the things that you don't even think or you don't know if they're going to happen.
Yeah. So Shug, bringing back to hammocks, you named a lot. What would be like the best for somebody who's new, who's looking out to try hammocks? Was it the one from Amazon for $30, or is there a different one?
I would say the one from Amazon, it would be this is your lowest investment to see if you're even going to like being in a hammock. Most people, they don't hang the hammock correctly to begin with. It's like most people only have experience with sort of your beach hammocks, your Hatteras hammocks with the spreader bar and the ropes, right? It's usually already hung somewhere. You get in it, lay in it for 2 hours, and your legs are hyperextended afterwards. So they don't know exactly there are some rules for the hammock, but we won't get into that. It's like, just get one. I have videos, Hammock 101, but try to get it as kind of level as you can so your feet aren't low, and just lay in it. Go spend the day in it, read a book, and then think, well, we're camping in this, But usually what I find that freaks people out, some people hate the movement. I like the movement. I like rocking, man. People don't like that movement at all. Two, they feel exposed. They feel very exposed under a tarp and hammock where they felt safe in their tent. Because, a piece of ripstop will save your life in an emergency. Nothing can get through that. Not even the swamp thing. We know that, right?
The swamp thing.
But it's that thing, if I can't see it, it can't hurt me. So a lot of people feel kind of exposed in a hammock. And that takes a little, just getting used to. It's like, focus on opening your eyes in the morning and peeping out, and you see the woods right away. It's like when you go cowboy camping or do some tarp camping. Best part is you wake right up and see the woods. You don't have to zip, zip. Nothing wrong with that. So that's different people. Different people have different ideologies on that. And so that is the thing in hammocks. So there really is no one best hammock. Every hammock I have or review or do a looky-see with, I can find a fault with it, but it may that another hammock may not have, but it's got its own fault. So I would just say, just get a cheap one or go get an Eno, and then when you're ready to possibly, you go, I think I'll like this. Then start shopping around and doing your research.
Okay. Well, I know you said there's not kind of one best one, but we're trying to hit different categories. And so really, as the best hammocker out there, whatever you say is the best one for each category is the best one. So we're just going to go with that. That was for the beginner. And so, if there's some crossover here, like it could just be, faulty questions, but what is the easiest hammock to set up for like a backpacking hammock? What's the easiest one in your opinion?
None of them are.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying.
For something so simple.
None.
It's not the easiest. They all hang the same way. You have 2 points you're going to hang between. There's the distance between the points based on the length of the hammock, which is based on your size and what you choose to buy, whether it's a 10-foot, 10.5, 11, a 12-foot hammock. That has to be learned. That's something, it's just like you go buy a guitar because you saw somebody play it on YouTube and they go, I could teach you guitar in 3 days. No, they can't. They can teach you to play a lousy muffled chord. This is a G. Your fingers are bugged.
Yeah.
You can't. You're just not going to get that hammock right. So it's like, you got to go, I got to have fun with it. I'm just going to take it to a park, just the hammock, and hang it. And then hang out in it for a couple hours. Bring my laptop, bring a friend, whatever, and just be in it. You got to be hanging in it and see if you like the motion. Am I too high? Am I too low? The kids like their hammocks really high. I like mine so when I'm sitting sideways, my feet are on the ground, and the edge of the hammock is just right behind my knees without digging in. I mean, for this is the Majestic hammock that I've been working with Corey a lot, and I own one. This is that's the hammock. And the 2 beaners and his whoopee slings and everything, that's pretty small.
Is that your answer for the best ultralight hammock then?
Right now it would be. And again, ultralight's one of those things. What are the rules to ultralight? I've came with people that have been ultralighter since I've been a hammocker. And the problem is They want to park their tiny house in my driveway and use my water and electricity. It's kind of like they're going, "Are you going to finish that food?" They never have enough food. Going, did you not bring?
That's what we always ask.
You're staring at every candy bar I'm eating. So, I mean, ultralight. There's ultralight, right? And I went through my ultralight phase way before hammocks, where I was bivy bagging, tarping, a 40-degree sleeping bag, even when it was 10 degrees, doing sit-ups in the middle of the night, eating spirulina tablets rather than food. Proud of myself, light pack, making miles, having no fun at all in the end. But the journey was fun to get there and see what I could do with it. And that's what led me to hammocks, where I was like one morning having coffee, leaning on my arm. I had stuff sacks crammed under here, and I'm trying to sip a cup of coffee, laying in the vestibule of this Henry Shires tarp tent, watching the morning come alive, going, my hand fell asleep. I'm just not comfortable. There's got to be a better way for me to enjoy this morning of the woods and myself waking up. All I have to do today is walk and not die. I think I can do that. So ultralight to me, in hammocks, again, you can get really light. They make this Cloud 9-1 material that's that see-through fabric. But I don't want, my personal thing is I don't want my hammock or my suspension to break because I'm going ultralight on it.
It sounds like we hit two categories that you feel like are not appropriate categories for hammocking, and maybe our way of...
No, but let me tell you, I want to ask you, so this hammock right here, which is the hammock, and the two beaners, and the ridgeline and everything that Majestic made. And this right here, it's 1.6 hexon, weighs 1.65, 1 pound, 6.5 ounces. All right, that's pretty light. Okay, here's his strap system. It's 4 straps in there, 2-footer, 3-footer, a 4-footer, and a 5-footer that you can put together in all these configurations. In the stuff sack, 9.3 ounces. And this is the drape over bug net in its thing that weighs 11.4 ounces. And we're looking at a total of 2 pounds, 11.1 ounces. That's your sleep system, not your insulation. And I think that's pretty good for when you consider this. And I always tell people, if you're going to be a hammock camper, you have to consider the fiddling, but you also consider you're at a point in your life where maybe you're trying to factor in a little more comfort.
I was just trying to help people narrow down if I want this type of hammock, like here's a suggestion from Shug if I want this kind. So I kind of categorized it. So what if these categories aren't good? What category am I missing, I guess, or are we missing?
They're good to talk about. I would say if you want to go ultralight in hammocks, do your research. Try the most ultralight. You can always look at the specs on any hammock, particularly if you're buying from cottage vendors, and see what the length is. A lot of it is the fabric. You can get lighter fabrics, but there was a lot of people with that Cloud and some other ones that had tears where their hammock shredded on them in the woods, and that's my ultimate nightmare. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's mine too. That's really why I don't hammock, is I get nervous of just getting into the hammock, first trying to get into the hammock, and then having it fall apart while I'm in it and falling to like the rocks beneath me or something, and then having to get out in the morning. Yeah.
Or just wrecking your sleep. You got to get up and deal with it.
Right.
Like, oh no.
Yeah. So speaking of the fear, you recently went down to Hang Kong in Florida and risked your life on the icy roads. What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, the icy roads that were on the trip home, of course. My biggest takeaway from that is I realized, other than going to Denmark last year to the first European Hang Con, when they invited me, and boy, I waffled on that. I was going, what do they want from me? What's the end game here? Because they were flying me over, and I'm stewing around. Irish Catholic guys, we don't accept. We have to dread everything for days, and then you can't get us to leave. It's the same old story. That's the story of my life. It just cycles every day. So I just got in touch with them and I asked, "What are your expectations of me, Shug? I'm not a vendor, so what do you?" They just said, "We hope that you will just come and be Shug and talk hammocks." And I said, "That I can do." So I met a lot of while I was over there. I met Paul and AJ who run Hang Con, and I've been invited to Hang Con in the past by the folks that used to run it, and I'd look at the numbers of people, and I just didn't want to go to hangs that big because, again, my fear was most people know me through YouTube, and I know that I'm the same guy that you see on YouTube, but I was scared that maybe I wouldn't be for the people that met me. You know,
wow.
like,
Okay.
I have to sort of, I can't go the first day go, hello, Shug, how are you? And they go, God, he's nothing like YouTube. I sort of have to be Shug a little bit.
On. Yeah.
Just on to a degree of give them what they expect to see from you. That was my own self-imposed thing. The other one was I knew when I get around a lot of people that know me, I will get exhausted because I'm a spirited introvert. But when I'm around people, I have the people-pleasing disease. I want to go around and meet everybody and let them meet me. So to answer your question, in all of this, what I took away was that I am a part of the hammock community and pretty well known. I never wanted to admit that because I always saw like doing YouTube as kind of self-serving. I get to show off. Sure, I'm helping people, and it's nice here or there to have somebody tell you they liked your videos. Or even a man at HangCon came right up to me and said, I don't get your sense of humor. And he came over the next morning. He was standing outside my hammock waiting, and he was apologizing. Well, give me your stuff. He's some sort of mathematical quant, and I just went, if it makes you feel better, I hate math, so we're even.
Oh man, but I'm gonna wait to talk to Shug just to tell him that I don't get him. That's like not cool.
It just I could tell that it just blurted out of it, right? HangCon. What HangCon was, because hammockers are really introverted at heart because we like to sleep alone in our own little pod. We can be around people, but we can be far. I don't know.
Yeah.
HangCon is a introverts convention, really, and you get a bunch of introverts together, and they all extrovert. So it was fantastic.
Good
and it really, really helped my merch sales.
There it is.
There we go. My analytics went way up.
Yeah, the graph trending upward.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's right.
Well, it's a good transition because who knows what's coming up in this next topic here. We got our lightning round, and we are going to give you 1 minute to answer as many questions as Ben and I can throw at you. And so these are just your opinion. They could come from left field, whatever. I think right now the most answers we've had in a minute is 8. That's for our current season, which is season 8. So the timer starts. I'm gonna keep track of it over here, but the timer starts once Ben asks his first question.
Yeah, and we'll try to ask the questions faster. We got ridiculed that we don't ask fast.
Too bad. Just how it goes, Ben.
We're gonna ask. Yeah. Yep. All right,
Ben, whenever you're ready.
Do people who tent look like upper class people to you who hammock?
No, tents look weird to me now after being a hammocker. Hammockers used to look weird to me. Now tents look weird. Honestly.
Best chocolate brand.
Oh, the best chocolate brand?
Yeah. I'm
going to have to say the European, like the Flake Bar in England. It's just it's Cadbury's.
Ooh. What's the longest time it took you to look for a place to hang a hammock?
Probably an hour and a half one time because I was just feeling very choosy and everybody had the good spots and I was just enjoying the hunt.
Can you tell us your favorite color in an Australian accent?
Right, I like orange. Orange to me is like when I'm out taking walkabout and I have that fire at night and the sparks are flying up into they're orange.
Oh my gosh. All right. Hot dish or casserole?
Casserole.
And time. Shug, I don't think you won there. I think you only got 5 questions.
I got 3.
Competitive in that.
But you might have had the most fun answers. So I think that there's that to be taken away. So yeah, Cadbury's not as big over in the States. I mean, I start to see more of them now, like at the grocery store. But man, like abroad, Cadbury is like the #1 chocolate brand.
It really is. I love European chocolate. That's what I show on my videos and break it down.
Right.
You can't beat a Reese cup.
Right. That's my favorite.
What can we look forward to on your YouTube channel this season, Shug? What do you got coming out?
Carl, I tell you, I'm really on the backside of my channel. I've had that channel since 2007, and I've had peak already. I just don't care anymore. Really, my analytics tell me every day I should just hang it up, just wrap it up.
Oh my gosh.
There's a little honesty in there. I'm always trying to kind of stay, and I have been doing it for 17 years. So familiarity breeds contempt. And I'll tell you this, YouTube is different now than when I started.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is
100%.
really a business now. People are doing it to make their living. And, you know, I've gotten the Google money since they courted me my first year. And, you know, it's like, it can be good at the peak of my thing. I think one time I got a little over $1,000, but in backpacking and specifically hammocks, you're not going to become big time. But $1,000 or whatever money you get in the bank, I see it as passive income. You know, it's a little grocery and gas money. So I have 640 videos. So even if I don't put a video out, people go back and look at it. You're always finding new people that don't know you. And I get the, you know, the folks that go, how you doing out there, Shug? I was just wondering how you're doing. When's your next video? Like, they're concerned about you. But I have said, like, I'm going to this coming week.
Right. I
haven't done a real review on the Majestic. I've never really done like proper review on my Superior Gear hammocks, which I use for winter camping the most. And someone had asked me not long ago if I could compare Shug, War Bonnet, Majestic, and Superior comparisons. And, you know, a video like that that's a hard video to do. That's hanging a lot of hammocks. I want to do it though, but I think I'm going to do each one individually. And then I'll just send them the 3 links and go, none of them, they're all hammocks. They all have their pros and cons, their strengths, their weaknesses, their different things. You know, it's like that. But really what I do plan to do, and I've been doing more of lately, is just talking head videos instead of always being out setting stuff up and showing it, because I have all that. A lot of my learning videos, I've done them 3 or 4 or 5 times, updating them and trying to make them more succinct as time goes on, because you realize in YouTube this, new people don't really go back and look way into your archives. Number 2, I assume that every viewer knows something about me or knows all these things. They don't. It's an interesting thing, but I'm always trying to stay motivated, but I'm writing my memoirs. I've been working on my memoir about the last year from my circus clown years. And I would really like to, sometimes I like to have a whole new channel, just tell some of my viewers I'm going to start another channel that's more music-based or more circus stories, but I've always had kind of an eclectic channel, but it's like sometimes I just want to tell a good wild circus story of being a clown in a town, things that went wrong, because that's what I'm writing about, my alcoholism, my clowning. I just would like to tell some of these things, so I don't know, but just more of the sitting down and talking because I watch them all the time. When Meg goes to bed at night, my wife, she says, "You going to do your little junior college now?" And I go, yeah. And then we watch YouTube, never backpacking stuff. I don't watch gear stuff. I've got it all. I've done it. You know, I watch bass guitar stuff, mandolin stuff, random things, whatever project I have going on at the house, how to do that project better. Really nothing to expect other than I will always be putting videos out. I thought I was going to hang it up when I was 65, but I'm 66 now. Like, who wants to watch a man do stuff?
Right.
But I've kind of learned that sometimes I'll get a young person go, "Dude, my dad's younger than you and can't do the stuff you do." And I think it's about
energy. Yeah.
How would you say about a channel going, you can be old, but still have some life, still have a little fight in you, still have a little going down easy and all that, and be interested in learning new things and still, you know, hike a little slower, but I'm still out there. So that is all kind of mulling. I have to kind of see where it goes, but more talking head videos.
Well, hey, Shug, man, it's always a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. We so appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah.
We will look forward to whatever you are willing to put out there, man. Like, I know that it's going to be successful because you're the best. So appreciate it.
For sure. For sure.
All right, man. What'd you think about Shug? This is your first time hanging out with him.
He is a character, different accents. You might have thought we had 4 different people on, but it was just one person.
I know.
One thing I took away is he kept mentioning hammocking by himself, right? Like he makes his hammock, goes back in, or makes his coffee, goes back into the hammock, enjoys the sunrise. We're 10 people. Like me and you, we kind of get out in the morning and sit by the fire. So that struck me as like, I like the more getting up in the morning with everybody, and sitting by the campfire in the morning, having the coffee together, whatever meals. So yeah, I took that.
I'm the third guy because I mean, periodically I'll like doing what you're describing, but if we've got a serious backpacking trip going on, I just want to get up and go, man. Like, let's just go. So that's me.
Or you just like to stay in your tent until you think everyone's up and then get out of your tent and be like, oh, I'm ready, guys. Like, we've had that happen a couple times. So.
While they're still packing up, right?
Well, no, this was like when we were just doing a day trip somewhere. I think you just kind of hung out in your tent,
okay.
but yeah.
Okay.
And then he mentioned he got recognized at HangCon. Have you ever had anyone?
He's the star. He's like the star of HangCon. He's not just like a one person or two people. No, he's like, he is the Disney character, literally.
Has that ever happened to you though? Where you've gone to like, every time I go to REI now, I'm like, I wonder if anyone will recognize me as a podcaster, but it hasn't happened
pretty
yet.
highly of yourself, my friend.
Well, I just wonder, I just wonder whether it's good or bad. Someone might be like,
no, that's not going to happen.
You've replaced Derek long enough and I want Derek back. And so I think of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And Derek's invited to all these interviews and he makes some of them, but typically does not. So he made the last one. So we'll give him that. But anyway, yeah. If you're doing a podcast where the bulk of the people that check into the show, the bulk of the family, so to speak, are listening and not watching, like, you're not going to get recognized. It doesn't matter.
Well, I talk louder when I'm in like REI. I'm like, hey,
I see.
Does anyone know where backpacking is? And blister
backpacking
care,
expert here. You might have heard of me. Anybody know where the tents are? Like, is that what you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't, this is an uncomfortable conversation for me because I view some of these YouTubers as like semi-famous in their kind of in their own way or in that category. But yeah, we're just shedding light on different things. We're not shining light on ourselves so much. But anyway, okay. So the takeaway that I had was that, first of all, I tried to categorize hammocks like I categorize tents, and so I'm thinking people are looking for this type of hammock. Which one does Shug recommend, or what's his top in that category?
Yeah.
And he had an answer for like beginner hammock, but other than that, he's like, I don't. That's not an appropriate category.
I just carry this one hammock and that's it. Well, he did mention like I think it was the hammocks next time if we have him on, we got to ask him like, okay, instead of ultralight, or for this hammock or this hammock, it's like side sleepers. He's like, oh, if you're a side sleeper, you want this
I know
hammock.
that was a category.
If you're ultralight,
just one. I blew it.
Yeah.
So now I know. Like, because that one doesn't apply to tents, so you like that doesn't matter. There's I mean, you can go with infinite categories, but the ones that I came up with, all I'm trying to say is like did not work. So hopefully there was some info in there that was helpful. Is all I'm trying to say. All right, so we just talked about hammocks. We got tent talk, the best tent for you coming up right after this.
Looking for a snack that's better for you and irresistibly tasty? Grab a bag of Skinny Pop popcorn. The original ready-to-eat popcorn is made with just 3 simple ingredients, and it still delivers all the light, airy, and satisfyingly salty flavors you love. Share a bag of Skinny Pop with your favorite people, or just keep it to yourself for some endlessly enjoyable solo snacking that lasts and lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop. Popular for a reason.
If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The trail is calling your name. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Our good friend Rowan from Summit Strength can get you trail ready. Rowan uses rock-solid evidence to design a specialized training program just for you. There are plenty of cookie-cutter programs out there that will get you only halfway up the mountain. Make it to your adventure summit with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure.
Has it ever taken you an hour and a half to look for a tent spot? Because you mentioned that in the lightning round, it took an hour and a half for him to find a spot to hang his hammock.
Well, yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, and I don't know what that means because when you say looking for one, If you're hiking and you're on the side of a steep slope where you're just not going to camp there, you're going to continue hiking until you're in a better spot, and that could be an hour down the trail, right?
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know. That's a
Or
good,
did it
yeah,
take them an hour? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I should have followed up with that.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good question, actually. I've looked for a tent spot for a while. I don't ever think it was that long. Like, if I'm looking that long and I'm tired and it's the end of the day, I'm just like, all right, I'll just take whatever I can get, right?
Yeah, I mean, you really the thing that determines me is how flat the ground is, and if there's rocks. Like, can I clear this spot away for a tent? And
is that your pro tip for tent users? Find flat ground without rocks.
I mean, if you're a beginner, yes. What's your
all right, folks?
tip,
Please subscribe if you're looking for more genius tips like Ben just shared.
I don't get why you and Derek never just interview me. Pro tenter.
Ben, we're struggling every time we lay the tent down. It's on the side of a mountain with ice and things that poke holes in the bottom of our tent. Isn't there a better way?
Yeah. So, what's your pro tip for a tent? Let's start there.
For finding the best tent spot?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for a spot, then you want to go next to a lake. Typically, there's gonna be flat ground next to a lake, and there's gonna be pretty pre-established spots, and it's gonna be scenic. So that's
there you go.
If there's a lake.
Pro tip: just find a lake. All right.
There you go. All right, so we got some categories here. Let's just jump right in. Budget tent option. So scenarios like you can afford to spend a little bit of money, but you're new to backpacking, so you're kind of like dipping your foot in, so you're not sure you want to like fully invest. What's the best tent for that scenario?
Yeah, so I use the Teton one. It comes in at $139, but it's heavy.
Did you say pounds? You were about to say pounds.
I almost said pounds because I was looking at the pounds. That's a heavy tent. But it weighs in at 7.2 pounds. So it's heavy. I mean, Shug mentioned his hammocks were just under 3 pounds. So yeah, 7.2, that's double for that.
Yeah. So that you're talking about the Mountain Ultra tent that comes in like a 1, 2, 3.
Yes, the Teton Mountain Ultra. I think this is the 2-person.
Yeah.
2-person, 2 to 3. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I would say that was my answer too. Honorable mention would be Alps Mountaineering. Check out their tents. They're more on the budget side. So that's another option. Okay. So that's first category.
So, Carl, what's your user-friendly, easy to set up, easy to get out tent to go
Okay,
to?
my user-friendly one, this is kind of like hypocritical, I'll be honest. It's the REI Half Dome, like 2+.
Okay.
The reason why it's hypocritical is I said that it was kind of like scam gear where they up the cost and it like wears out really fast. But if that's all you're looking for, is if your criteria is user-friendly, it's pretty dang user-friendly. It's got the side door entrances. You're not going in like a doghouse. It's user friendly. It's $300. It's gonna be way more than the Teton. It's not gonna last forever. You're overpaying for it. But if that's what you're going for, that from all of the experience I've had, that's my answer. Maybe like a Kelty would be an honorable mention. Yeah, that's my answer.
What's the easy setup to you on the tents? Like, what's an easy setup? Like, because they have ones that you just kind of toss up in the air and they just kind of unfold.
Poles go opposite corners, clip it in.
Right. That's totally what I would agree is you got 2 tent poles and just clip them in and then clip them.
And a lot of times it's just one fully connected pole. You just kind of connect them up. Yeah. So it's easier. All right. Ultralight tent that uses trekking poles.
Durston's X-Mid Pro 2.
Okay.
So we had Durston on. He talked about this one. And you use your trekking poles to set it up. So sets up on each side and kind of just hangs over. Would that be more user-friendly, you think?
So it's not as user-friendly as like a typical freestanding tent where you can you're like, yeah, I thought this ground was flat, but it's not as flat as I thought, where you can just kind of pick it up and move it. You can't do that.
Right. Because this one, you have to kind of set up the inside first, right? And then you build the outside. So it's a little more.
I don't know. I don't have one. One of our buddies has one and he likes it, but every year he's like, he's not considering getting a different trekking pole tent. He's considering just getting like more of a freestanding tent because of the lack of mobility once it's set up. You kind of have to commit to the spot, so to speak. But okay, be honest, man. Yep. Did you pick the Durston tent because like you really believe that's the best option, or because you're afraid if you didn't pick it that the Durston fans would have their pitchforks like coming after you again?
Yes, totally chose Durston to try to win the Durston crew back.
Okay. All right. Well done. I would say like Honorable mention, the Z-Packs Duplex, and then the Hyperlight tents. Like, all of these are way more expensive. So they're all going to be like in the $700 range. You're spending a lot of money for tents. So
but you're going ultralight, so it spends more money.
You are going ultralight. And somebody was commenting on YouTube the other day about how we did like an episode on like rip-off gear and Hyperlight came up, and they're like, when you start considering, the cost of this or the cost of like the trekking poles. And so anyway, you can't consider the cost of the trekking poles when you're considering the cost of the tent, because the thought is you're not bringing the trekking poles just for the tent. You would have them anyway. So if you bring them just for the tent, you don't want that tent.
That's not, that's not ultralight then, because you're not using them. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's see. I've got ultralight tent without trekking poles.
The copper, Big Ignis copper spur. So it's about could be anywhere from $370 to $500 though. So a little spendy, depending on what you're looking at.
Yeah, but still half the cost of those trekking pole tents, right?
Right.
And that's more in like the 2 to 3 pound range, depending upon which size you get. Also in that range is the Nemo Hornet, and that's a little bit more expensive at $430 at 2.5 pounds, which is, it's considered semi-freestanding, but doesn't do as well in the winds. It just kind of depends on where you're going. So,
is that what you have, the Nemo, right?
Yeah, the Nemo Hornet. Correct.
Do you like it?
I do, but I have had the wind issue where I couldn't physically set it up. It was so windy that I ended up using it like more as a, I don't know. I just kind of laid it over myself, basically, like kind of like a bivy sack.
Yeah, but I mean that's with any tent. If it's super windy, it's hard to set up. It's blowing away if you're just by yourself.
No. There's tents that it's like, dang, this is windy. This is so hard to set up. Can you help me out? Let's stake it out. Let's do this, let's do that. And then you eventually get it up. No, I couldn't. Like you couldn't set. Wow. Like I did everything I could possibly do, and it still wouldn't go. Okay, basically.
So just wore it as a blanket. Gotcha.
Yeah, like a bivy sack. All right. Ultra budget. The scenario is you're young, you're new to backpacking, and you work for Taco Bell.
Well, this happened. I borrowed a tent. Didn't check the...
Okay, that's good.
Didn't check to see if there was tent poles in there. Set it up in northern Minnesota in the middle of winter, and we hung it from the tree. So that was it.
Okay. Otherwise, a great answer for this one.
Otherwise, I used the Walmart tent was the first one I bought getting into backpacking, and it was all right, and then they had a $5 backpack on sale.
Ozark Trails or something?
Yeah, it was Ozark Trail, which isn't too bad, but it's not, they have a backpacking tent, but it's not really backpacking because it's heavy, clumsy. It doesn't fold down nicely at all. So
yeah, that's a good answer. I thought if you're going ultra budget, like just build a fort using old blankets. That's what you that's what you got.
Just bring every blanket you have, electric blanket. Just get your electric blanket, plug it in.
Just plug it in.
Get the electric sight, Yeah.
I got a bonus category. Do you have a bonus category?
I don't. Yeah.
Okay. Last category is medieval style tents. So if you're looking for something like that, where you're trying to go, basically they sell what's called LARP tents for anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000. You can look like you live in the Middle Ages. Do you know what LARP stands for?
Oh, I'm trying to remember the acronym. It's like, isn't it like...
You can just say no. You don't have to pretend that you know what it stands for.
Well, I know, because I'm trying to remember it. It's like real action.
Yeah, close. Like live action role play. That's where people dress up and they like attack fake monsters in the woods, and they have a lot of fun. And so it's going to cost you the most.
That's the second time you brought that up. So I think you're planning something with LARPs.
LARP medieval style Patreon trip, folks, coming up in 2026, right?
I think you're actually going to do it. So
possibly. All right, tidbits, my friend. I've got. Let's see here. We talked about the question. What was the topic, or what was the question that I asked that you gave me a hard time about?
Yeah. So we're talking with a legit expert on survival. So I'm like, when me and you are doing our pre-show talk, it's like, let's bring up questions that are actual scenarios and pitch them to the guy and have Michael Hawk tell us how to do it. And your first one was good. You ask everyone bear attack. It's like, all right. Yeah. I go ask my question about survival, and you come back with, so a lot of people get stuck on deserted islands. What would you do differently than Castaway guy Tom Hanks?
I love the paraphrase of that question. I didn't say a lot of people get stuck. I just gave him a scenario and said, like, you got stuck. Your FedEx plane went down.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm just going to next time be like, so, it's the day after tomorrow and you're stuck in a library freezing to death. What should you do?
You don't get that next time. You already did the next time. You did this episode when you asked Shug and you referenced a 1960 movie, Swiss Family Robinson, that most people haven't seen, or if they have seen it, they haven't seen it in decades. So nice comeback with that one.
Yeah. I've never seen Castaways. So in your face, we don't have that. So anyways, you ask the question and then you put it in my face of like, hey, I made a short clip about it. Go check it out. I look, and how many views does it have?
Yeah, so we put it on YouTube. We just kind of like snippet that question. It's like I don't know. It's like a lot for us for YouTube. We don't have a big presence there. It's over 3,000. It's like one of our more popular ones, basically.
3.
So yeah, and we got mixed results as far as feedback on that, by the way, too.
So yeah, so Carl's like, yeah, it was a good question, wasn't it, Ben?
And so Ben's like, well, if asking about movies is going to be a thing, then I'm going to bring up a movie that everybody connects with, Swiss Family Robinson. Nice job.
Some people just don't get the humor and all that, but yeah,
Oh
it was
gosh.
good. So yeah.
Other tidbit is we got our trip planning episode number 2 out in February. We got 2 episodes for you. Pro tips for trip planning. All right, man, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Yeah, just remember, if you're not hanging from a tree, you're not hammocking.
Nice. Have a good week out there, everybody. God bless.
I want to fly around the world.
Looking for a snack that's better for you and irresistibly tasty? Grab a bag of Skinny Pop Popcorn. The original ready-to-eat popcorn is made with just 3 simple ingredients, and it still delivers all the light, airy, and satisfyingly salty flavors you love. Share a bag of Skinny Pop with your favorite people, or just keep it to yourself for some endlessly enjoyable solo snacking that lasts and lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop. Popular for a reason.